You ever get fed up with your debt? I'm fed up right now. I am declaring now a no buy year. Actually, it's already the end of February, but I've kind of been following it already. I just thought I'd come in here and talk about it with you today. Why I'm doing a no buy year, why it's important for probably a lot of people to do a no buy year. And if you don't know what a no buy year means, it means that you don't buy anything that's not essential. That's not essential. So, of course, if your car breaks down and you have to do a repair, you have to buy that. If you need a piece of equipment for your work and you have to replace that, that's essential. But most things are not going to be essential during the year. Most people have enough clothes to get through a year. Most people have enough household stuff to get through a year. You don't need to buy the new smartphone. You could wait another year. But I have finally reached my limit. I went on kind of a spending thing during the pandemic and used credit cards. And I live on a very little amount every month. And I need some extra money for savings, which was completely obvious to me when I had this health crisis in the last couple of months. I didn't have the money for it. So I'm not going to be put in that position again and have to ask anyone else for help for something like that. So I'm going on a no buy year. I've already been doing it really the last month or so. And for the rest of this year, I am not buying anything that is not absolutely essential. Fortunately, I have most of the things I need to do, music stuff or my YouTube channel or things like that. I don't need any clothes, don't need any household stuff, just the normal, monthly supplies. You have to get detergent and things like that. So I'm doing it and I've been doing it and I'm going to continue to keep doing it. So if you ever get fed up enough, you might want to do it yourself. So let me give you a little backstory on this, okay? When I moved to the place I live right now, which was about 4.5 years ago now. It was great the first probably year and a half that I lived here because I live in low income senior housing. I live on, I'm going to do another video on this, so I'm not going to get into the details of it, specifics, but I live at poverty level basically, okay? And so amazingly, for the first time in my life, even like before when I was working or whatever, I actually had extra money left over. I really did. I had extra money every month and I kind of rolled it over and I was able to build up a little bit of savings. And then the pandemic hit. And then I made the mistake of getting some more credit cards. And even though my resolve was to only use credit cards for emergencies, to me, the pandemic was an emergency. Apparently, that's not funny. It kind of freaked me out, the whole thing. So I ended up spending way too much and saying, oh, I can pay this off. It's no problem. But it was a problem. It was a big problem. And I found out that I am happiest when I have some money saved. And I think most people are the happiest when they have money saved as well. So I don't think that should be a big surprise. Studies have shown that the majority of Americans don't even have $500 saved for an emergency. I had that at one time, but I ended up spending and using credit cards. And the other thing I did, which I'm going to, again, talk more about in another video, is about a year ago, I went 3.5 years without a car. And I'm going to talk about what I think is really the value in actually not having a car if you don't need one. But I went 3.5 years without a car, which saves a lot of money, a lot of expense, just, gas and oil and insurance and, all of that stuff just alone. I mean, not even making a car payment, but just having that plus repair bills and whatever. Cars are expensive. So the mistake I made about a year ago that really kind of was the death knell for my whole financial situation was with the money I had, I bought a used car, like a 2005 little, Kia car. It was very, just a compact car, nothing fancy. And I paid for it with cash. The problem is the car had all kinds of problems. Some of them were actually fixed initially by the dealer who sold me the car. But the bigger problem, which was the undercarriage of the car, there was the front struts needed to be replaced and things like that. Well, anyway, it ended up costing me an extra almost $700 to have that repaired. So I got this used car. I paid too much for it in the first place because I got it from a dealer instead of a private party. And then I had this big repair bill. It needs other things fixed on it. Nothing that, it runs and it's been pretty reliable, knock on wood. But it's it's got things that probably need to be fixed on it, but I can't afford to fix those things. And I actually am toying with the idea of going ahead and selling the car. I went 3.5 years without a car here. There is a transportation, a bus system in the little town I live in, and I can walk most places as well. It's not really essential, but once you get a car back in your life and you think about all the value of having that, like you can go out, take a little day trip or something like that, or go to an appointment outside of town or something like that. So anyway, I'm still debating that. I may sell the car, which maybe put me in a better position, but I can't buy anything else this year. I just can't do it. So no matter whether I sell the car or not, I've got to just stay on this no buy year. And I think it's really important. I know a lot of people have done videos about that on YouTube. It's been a trend for a number of years now. But I think, it's not just in the United States that we're very materialistic. A lot of the world has become very materialistic now. At one time, we were kind of the main people for that. Maybe we still are, but I do believe that the world itself has just gotten too materialistic. And most of the things we don't need. You need to first separate the difference between needs and wants, which I know what they are, and yet I still break those rules all the time. So, but not this year. Not this year. So I'm on here conveying this to you, making my promise to myself and you that I am in a no buy year. So I'll update you how it goes along the rest of the year. And I'll talk to you about challenges that come up along the way. I might do those in shorts. I might do them in a long form video like this. But it is really important to kind of get a reset on your finances, no matter how much income you have. People that make a lot more money and have a lot more income often usually spend a lot more as well. So they, in many cases, are not in a great financial situation either. This is the poorest I've ever been as far as income in my whole life. And yet, I've actually been, when I was making more, I was also in a lot more debt at times in my life. So, I know I can get out of this, and I'm going to get out of this so that the next time I have an emergency come up, I can take care of that. It is really important, and I'll keep you updated. So until next time, be well, keep moving forward, think about your spending habits, and take care. Bye.